Hey, in this video I'll be telling you all about the big three series in manga slash manhwa slash light novel and more. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, to start this video off, I'll quickly go over the manga big three, as there have been more than enough videos made on that topic. I even made a video on it. I'll be very quick about it. So, the manga big three consists of One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. And before someone comments this, no, Dragon Ball can't replace Bleach in the big three, because the big three are the manga that were on a completely different level than any other manga in the early 2000s. Honorable mention goes to Hunter x Hunter and Fairy Tail. Hunter x Hunter because it sometimes slightly outsold the Bleach manga, and Fairy Tail because its overall popularity was extremely similar to Bleach's, but Bleach was still overall more popular and better selling than Fairy Tail. Alright, moving on to the category that I wanted to write about the most, Manhwa. Oh yeah, if you don't know what that is, Manhwa are just Korea's takes on something similar to manga but also completely different. But for the big three of Manhwa, I found two of the spots extremely easy to decide, but the last spot? Let's say there were multiple competitors. The first big three manhwa member, which should come as no surprise, is Solo Leveling. Yeah, it's the biggest manhwa, especially right now with the second season of the anime being at the peak of its popularity. So, moving right along, the second and last easily decided member is Tower of God. It has been in the game for way longer than Solo Leveling, and it has maintained a huge fan base, with also 2 anime seasons as of now, and the second part of the second season is currently airing. And for the last member, I really tried not to be biased towards one series, so my favorite series is staying in the honorable mentions. But for the third member of the big three of Manhwa, this was largely between 2 series, and I ended up picking Lookism as the third member of the Manhwa big three. Now, before I say anything else, the other Manhwa that I considered was The God of High School, because it has a really popular anime, and the only 2 anime adaptations of Manhwa that I could find that were more popular than The God of High Schools were Solo Leveling and Tower of God. And if you remember, those 2 were already on the list. And although The God of High School relatively recently ended on the 13th of October 2020, it still lasted more than a decade, and it ended with 569 chapters. That's 22 chapters more than Lookism has right now. So, what made me pick Lookism over The God of High School? Well, for one, Lookism is still ongoing as of now, with, as I just mentioned, 547 chapters, which is 22 chapters less than The God of High School. And Lookism is still ongoing, so it will overtake The God of High School very soon. Another thing is that Lookism just had an anime adaptation, so it's more relevant right now than ever. I also think that The God of High School is more popular than Lookism if you take anime into account. But if you strip away the anime, then Lookism might be slightly more popular. And one last thing, the Lookism universe is a big reason why I picked it over The God of High School. Let me name all the series in its universe. In Lookism's universe, there's Lookism, Viral Hit, Manager Kim, My Life as a Loser, Questism, Juvenile Offender, Death Row Boy, and 6 more. Even though I said I was going to name all of them, naming 6 more series was gonna take crazy long. Oh shit, I really blabbered on. Alright, quickly, the first honorable mention is the series I really tried not being biased towards. It's Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Even though it's extremely popular, I don't think it's quite there yet. Then, it's already, as I said 10,000 times, The God of High School. And because I already talked way too long about it, I'll be immediately moving on to the next series, which is Bastard. And, if you didn't know, these same authors went on to make another huge series, but it's not even close to being as popular as Bastard though. Sweet Home. And the last honorable mention is The Boxer, which I don't think needs an introduction, as it seems to have been getting more and more popular recently. Alright, moving on to the next big three category, which is Manhwa, which, if you don't know, is similar to Manhwa in the regards that it is another country's take on manga, but completely different at the same time. But this time, it's not Korea, it's China. Now, fully honestly, I barely know anything about manhwas. In fact, from all the manhwas I'm going to mention, I only recognize one of this series. But it's not that they're not popular, it's just that I haven't been interested in them yet. Anyways, taking the first spot of the big three manhwa, it's the only manhwa I recognized. It's Marshall Peak. Yeah, the only thing I know about it is that it's absurdly long. Anyways, the second member of the big three is Battle Through the Heavens. And the Battle Through the Heavens has been going on for way longer than I thought. It's been going on for more than a decade, and it started back in June of 2012. And the third member of the big three is The Tale of Demons and Gods. Honorable mentions go to Solant and I'm an Evil God. Alright, an interesting one. Light novels. Although I couldn't find many very popular light novels, the ones that I found were very popular, and I mean it when I say that. So, starting the light novel big three off, we have Sword Art Online. For this, I think there's no explanation needed. But for the next one, actually no. It's an easy one too. It's ReZero. And for the final spot, I would actually like for you to guess guess which one it is. I'll name the series that's the last member and 4 honorable mentions, and you'll have to guess which one is the final big 3 member. There's Classroom of the Elite, Mushoku Tensei, the Monogatari series, Overlord, and finally, Spice and Wolf. So, take your time trying to guess which one it is, and yeah, start the countdown. Alright, time's up. If you guessed Classroom of the Elite, then you're wrong! So, if you guessed Overlord, then you're also wrong. But if you guessed Mushoku Tensei, then you're right. I often see that Mushoku Tensei is credited with the popularization of the reincarnation isekai subgenre. So yeah, all the other series that I mentioned that weren't Mushoku Tensei didn't get a big 3 spot. But those are honorable mentions. And finally, and in my opinion, interesting category, web novels. If you don't know what that is, it's just stories without illustrations from around the world. And the first big 3 placement for a series is for a series that has been going on for a very long time and has been maintaining its quality, if you don't take the sequel into account, and popularity for the entire time. It's Lord of the Mysteries. From all the big 3 web novels, I think this is the only one that no one could say anything about it being in the big 3. Next is our newcomer, and I say that with heavy joke, that has just been the most popular web novel by far. It's Shadow Slave. If you read web novels, then you can 100% agree with me that it's the most popular web novel at the moment. And finally, the series that I wrote in just so people don't get mad at me for being biased. That's mostly a joke. It's Reverended Insanity. Now, the reason this is painful for me is because there's another web novel that I love, and before Shadow Slave started, it was part of the big 3 back then. It's Omnisentient Reader's Viewpoint. Alright, now moving on to the honorable mentions. As I just mentioned, the first honorable mention is Omnisentient Reader's Viewpoint, but the second/last honorable mention is the only other web novel that I recognize, besides the ones that I already listed. It's the Solo Leveling web novel. Now, you might be thinking, why the fuck is Solo Leveling not in the big 3? Well, it's because before the manhwa, it was doing, let's say, not very good, because it was only at the start of the manhwa that it got mega popular. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, as it truly does mean a lot more to me than it may appear. And if you've watched for this long, then I'm sure you'll like the video you see on screen now. And once again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!